how do you measure success in your professional life? As someone who has really struggled with this in the past, I feel like I can kind of talk about my transition I've had from someone who used to measure success based on outcomes like money, status, things like that, and really had this big transformation to focusing on a few different things that, to me at least, are a lot more meaningful and help me feel a lot more satisfied in the work I do, because it can be easy to get caught up in those things. So I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll have a new way of thinking about how to measure success in your professional life. And my plan in this video is to simply show you two steps. Two steps is all I did to really change the way I think about my success in my professional life. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Chris Richardson. I'm a coach here at Life on Your Terms, and I make these videos to hopefully pass on some of the knowledge and experience that I've had throughout my life so you can learn it that much quicker than I did. So with that, the first transition I had is I changed from that outcome-based professional success to a work-based professional success, and I truly made the work the goal. This is from Alex Hormozy, and the way I see it is I look at the quality and the quantity of the work I do, and that is how I judge my success. What I mean by this is, let's start first with quality. With the quality of my work, I look at how focused am I when I am working? Am I distracted, or am I locked in, as I like to say? Am I locked into my work and immersed in my work? Because when I'm focused, I do my best work. And so it makes sense that I only focus on how locked in I am while I am working. So how focused am I? And what is my output per minute? I don't actually look at what is my output per minute, but I like to think about how productive am I being per minute? What are my actions per minute? When you look at how focused and how productive you are per minute, you can start to look at the quality of your work. Another way to look at the quality of your work are your skills getting better? As a coder, are you getting better? As a coach, are you getting better? As a copywriter, are you getting better? When you look at your skills, are they improving every day? And the way I like to think about skills and the quality of my skills, I like to think about it as like a martial artist, because I'm big into MMA, so I like a lot of that stuff. And a true master of a martial art thinks about how can they get better just every day. They don't think about the belts, because the belts are simply an outcome. They think about how can they improve their craft just a little bit every practice. That's how I think about my work as a coach as well. And I encourage you to think about your work the same way. How can you just get a little bit better every day? Now, also with the quality of the work, now I'm not saying you should judge yourself based upon the opinions or outcomes of others, but one lagging indicator you can look at with the quality of your work is the satisfaction and the loyalty of your customers or your managers. So if you're a business owner, you look at the satisfaction and the loyalty of the customers. And if you're an employee, you look at the satisfaction of your managers. Like I said, you shouldn't value yourself completely based upon this, but this can be a lagging indicator of the quality of your work. Now with that, another lagging indicator is feedback or recognition. And if you're not getting a lot of feedback and recognition, doesn't mean you're not doing a good job, but it could motivate you to maybe do a better job. So that's how I look at the quality of my work. And I'd really, truly encourage you to focus on how can you improve your skills, and then how focused are you during your work. Now with the quantity of your work, how consistent are you? Are you working a bunch one day and then not so much the next? Are you staying focused for a long period of time? Or do you tend to fizzle out every 30 minutes and get distracted by other things? So look at the quantity of how long you can work. How long can you endure what you are doing, and how can you improve that? That's what I look at. So if one day I can go for 2 hours, how can I go for 2.5 hours? And how can I just continue to climb that ladder of my own work? Because then it's completely focused on me. I'm just competing with myself, which I love to do personally. I found it works for me. Maybe it doesn't work for you, but I found that it helps me a lot when I'm competing against myself, because then I am in complete control. So another thing of the quantity of my work I've noticed is, as I've gotten better of the skill of working, I'm able to work on longer term projects. So instead of maybe sending a cold DM, which is just basically instant, I can work on a long-term webinar that has to be improved over and over and over and then sent. And it takes a lot of different steps to improve upon that. And I know my quantity of my skill of working is getting better. And that's one big transformation I've had, is really focusing on the quality and the quantity of my work. I mean, it's really been game-changing in my transformation. Now, the second piece, the second thing in how to measure success in your professional life is simply your alignment and your impact. Let's first focus on alignment. So what I mean by this is, does what you are doing fulfill you and match your values? Have you gotten caught up a little bit in those outcomes? Or have you still stayed to your true north, as we like to call it here at Life on Your Terms? So my true north is truly just making an impact in a lot of people's lives. And I'm currently focusing on helping 18 to 20-year-olds who have a lack of direction, a lack of purpose, and are not sure what's next in their life. So that's my current direction. And as long as I'm in line with that, that is fulfilling me and I am matching my values, and I would call that successful in my opinion. So you have to identify, what do you want to solve, or what will fulfill you, and then align yourself with that. Another thing with alignment is, are you progressing? Kind of relates to the previous point, but are you progressing within your job and your skills, and are you continuing to work on the things that you are aligned with? Another piece of alignment is, do you have the work-life balance that you desire, or are you working in a direction to get there? Because there are times in our lives where we have to eat shit, and we have to be able to work for a long period of time. That's not the ideal work-life balance, but eventually we will get to our ideal work-life balance. So do you either have it right now, or are you working towards it? That's another thing that I would consider within alignment. Now, the final piece is impact. So are you solving the problem you want? It ties in with alignment, but for me, am I able to impact the lives that I want? Or am I able to change their lives so they can learn, they can have a clear direction, they can get life started on the right foot? That's for me. Am I able to make that impact? So what's your impact that you want to make? And then also, how do you impact or change the lives of the people around you? So maybe you're a software developer and you simply work in product and you believe in that product, but how can you change the lives or impact your coworkers, your managers, things like that? And if you're able to understand how you want to impact people's lives, that can make you feel really good, and it can help you measure your professional success. So that was, how do you measure your professional success? By making these changes in my own life, I've seen such a big transformation in how I feel within my job. And maybe you want to make that change too. And that's where I encourage you to take the balance wheel in the description below, because we're not only going to look at your professional life, but we're also going to look at your relationships, your health, and your resources, so you can take a whole person approach at your life. Also, if you hit that like and subscribe button, it helps the channel a lot.